What's good? What's going on, guys? What is going on? I am feeling better. I am feeling better. Appreciate everybody kind of bearing with me last night. I don't think I've ever canceled a stream or delayed one in my entire time doing this. So, what's going on, guys? What's going on? Little 9:30 vibe, you know? Monday night stream. Got the Monday night scan going on. What's going on, guys? Just getting the link posted for everybody. Trying to give everyone just a couple minutes to get in here, guys. How'd everybody's Monday go? Pretty solid? Sorry, just getting the link posted in the Discord. Not too bad. I thought that today was pretty clean. I didn't come in with really high expectations, but first stream, new to options, Dane trades. What's going on, my man? Just a heads up, guys. That man is the best golfer on FinTwit, in my opinion. IMO. What's going on, Tim? Chop Bones, CA, Joshua, what's going on? Adam, what's going on? Willy Wonka, the guy Mans, what's good? FDA 1, percent, what's going on, man? JX Flores, what's going on? Appreciate it. Am feeling a lot better. Need the shades. I honestly, what do we have here, my friends? What do we have here? Oh, guys, I gotta be honest. My hair is insane right now. I don't think I've ever worn a hat, but look at this. I got the curls moving right now. I mean, just insane. I haven't had my hair this long. It's been a long time. What's going on, guys? Make sure you guys throw the homie Dane the follow on Twitter as well. He's in the chat right now. I'm pretty sure his Twitter ad is the same thing, but really good futures trader and happen to golf with the guy like every week. So good vibe, good follow, and he's super low key, only 5K followers. So make sure you guys toss him the follow on Twitter. Where the girls at? Where the glasses at? You mean? Yeah, GME looks interesting. What's going on, guys? What's going on? How did I find PDD? That's a good question. I'm gonna go over it. I'm not a genius though. I was just playing the sympathies because those China moves were insane today. Insane. I'm gonna let the curls fly, guys. No hat. We're letting the flow rock. What's going on, guys? Please make sure if you guys are joining us in the stream, if you guys enjoy these free public streams, guys, it's all free game. Make sure you guys toss a like on the stream. That is like the biggest thank you. It takes 2 seconds. It literally takes dos. I don't even know how to say second in Spanish, but and I took Spanish 4 in high school, guys. But just toss a like. It takes 2 seconds. Let's see if we can get back over triple digits by midway through the stream. So, curls for the girls. Appreciate it. Joshua, what's going on, man? Rolly, what's going on, man? What's going on, guys? Segundos. There we go. I appreciate. I knew we were gonna get that moving in the chat. Segundos. What's going on? Yes, so Shoei threw down a fire stream earlier. He also put me on PDD. He said it in the chat inside the Discord. Shoei was like, how was PDD red? And I was like, dude, great eye. It was weird. Today I traded some dated contracts. I traded some dated August calls on solar. And then I traded PDD, which was insane. PDD totally made my day, guys. Which is cool because I didn't take it with like huge size, but yeah, so I bought the PDD calls at 10:28, guys. This is my entry right here, if you guys can see it on the screen. These are obviously posted in the Discord. I bought 20 contracts, guys, so like what? Like $1,200 worth, $1,300 worth of these calls. Smaller size for me because it's like momentum and weekly contracts. So like keep it smaller size. And so that was right here, right on this candle. And if you guys are wondering why I took this, right, we broke over that prior high of day. And really, guys, this was primarily because the momentum inside BABA, right? If you look at BABA was printing sticks at this point, right? So I entered PDD at 10:28. Look at BABA, right? BABA ticked up 15 minutes earlier, right? And so BABA was already breaking through highs, right? That was our high of the day on BABA up to that point. BABA broke through pre-market highs, and we got what an insane move there on BABA. I took PDD because it was a clear laggard to me, right? Versus like Neo and some of these other names. You guys can see that Neo really ticked up much later. Hopefully this sounds okay for everybody, guys. But yeah, so I took PDD off that level, right? 1030. So really, really clean move. What's going on, guys? What's going on? Appreciate everybody tuning in. We got the glasses rolling. We got the curls rolling. The fro is in full effect, guys. The fro is in full effect. What is going on? Please make sure you guys hit that like button. If you are joining us for the first time, pretty much gave everybody a decent amount of time to get in here. We got like 200 people in the stream right now. First off, thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys are new to the stream, this is traditionally the Sunday market scan. This is the Monday market scan, guys. My name is Mans, aka Lorenzo, is my real name. And I am going to go through some of my favorite top focus setups for the week ahead, guys. It's a Monday, so it's a little bit of a different vibe tonight since we've already had one trading day to kind of get into things. But basically, my game plan is going to be to kind of roll through some of my favorite charts that I'm going to be looking at going into the week ahead. And then again, guys, during the stream, this is really just a pretty chill environment. So if you have questions, you're curious about something, just feel free to drop it in the chat. I'll try to answer like small questions throughout the stream and just kind of keep the dialogue going. All that I ask from you guys is that if you enjoy these streams and you want to see more of them, please make sure that you guys hit that like button and make sure you have subscribed. We just hit 14.3K subs on YouTube. We are trying to hit that 15K mark with a passion. So if you are already subscribed, if you have already liked the stream, I can't thank you guys enough. It means the world to me. And let's keep it rolling, right? So yeah, so that was my trade on PDD today, guys. Like I said, this was my entry here, right? 1028. So at the open of this new 15-minute candle, right, into 1030. And, it was like, obviously, we got a 300 or 220% move. I think these ended up going all the way up to 300%. I sold my last contract, so I sold half of PDD at 32%. And this is just kind of how I trade, guys. Sold 60% of PDD at 35%, sold 75% of PDD at 53%, and then I sold the rest of my PDD contracts pretty much near the top, right? So I sold my last contract on PDD all out was 201 fill was my last contract sell, right? Which was at, I don't want to get this incorrect, 1112, right? So that was about a 38-minute move. And this was right on this candle right here, and that was for 220%. Sold the last of my contracts at 2. And this was just, again, guys, pure sympathy play off of BABA, right? But you can see the relative volume that we had come in on the 15-minute chart. This is a beautiful day trade, guys. 300% on, or 220% on weeklies on a Monday is no joke, right? But this, breakout on BABA, we had the breakout on Neo. When you see China sympathies like that moving in unison, it's really one of my favorite, sectors to trade when it has the volume, and definitely the volume was there, right? I noticed the relative strength on Neo, which I talked about on the stream inside the Discord pretty heavily this morning. And then so when PDD ticked up, it was like a no-brainer for me. So yeah, so do I think we're near a breakout on China stocks in general? I think that's a great question. I mean, look at the action on the K-Web today, right? I mean, that's some serious volume here on the K-Web, guys. And so for me, right, when you see a daily candle like this, it's pretty hard to not think that we may see some continuation here, right? I wouldn't even be surprised, guys, if we see a day 2 move here, but that 30 level on the K-Web has been a huge point of resistance, right? So if we can get through 30 on the K-Web, and you guys can see we just printed some of our highest relative volume of the year, I really think we can push towards 32. But, again, China stocks obviously always have the headline risk, right? Which is, part of the reason that some people just don't trade them at all. I personally just don't love holding China names like overnight, but I will happily day trade them intraday. So, yeah, BABA still looks good. I think the K-Web in general looks good, guys. Neo is a huge breakout as well, which I think, on a breakout like this, guys, I'll clear all my levels for you. Could we get a day 2 move? Absolutely. I would personally love some type of flush down to 11.5, right? Maybe even this 11.33 area to retest the breakout. right? If we look at the hourly, we had some really strong support here at that 1169 area. If we see that area fail, I do think we could come back down to that kind of key breakout level at 1133, 1140. But again, really, I wouldn't be surprised if NEO decides to take out this 1205 level and just keep going, right? We haven't seen a lot of, times where you've gotten back-to-back breakout candles like that, where you get just true continuation. It just hasn't existed much in this market. We'll see if we get it tomorrow, right? Maybe we need to print an inside day. Maybe we don't, right? But I think that these names, having them on watch, the easiest way, in my opinion, guys, if you're trying to trade these kind of like hot momentum moves, is really just go to the hourly time frame and like really just draw lines. I know it sounds like incredibly simple, but what I do is I come in here and I lay out 3 levels just like I have here, right? We have the daily breakout level, right? So we have our daily breakout level here, right? And then we have our hourly breakout support, right? So that's our daily breakout level, right? At 1133. And then what do we have? I'll make this a little bit bigger if I can. Okay. And then we have our hourly support, which we have formed after the breakout, right? So this is our new hourly support right here. Hopefully this is helping. Maybe I'm just going through the motions here. Hourly support here, right, is now 1169, right? Because we've turned this area into, this is the first area that we pulled back, right? We found buyers, they came back in, and then we pushed towards highs, right? And then we have our like hourly swing high resistance area, right? So this is now our hourly resistance, right? And so the way that I kind of approach these is I will use these levels, right, going into the next day, right? So coming into tomorrow, if I was looking at a stock like NEO, I would be coming in here and really visualizing this 1169 area as kind of that new basing level, right? Because stocks don't just go straight up. They have to go sideways and then they go up, right? Or if they're going to make another move higher, right? And oftentimes we need to have pullbacks, right? So this 1169 area is really that key level that I'm going to be watching on NEO. 1205, right, was our high of the day from today. So if we break that and confirm on an hourly close, I think we could see a push, really like you have to go out to the daily, right, and go through and say, okay, well, where's our next target above? Well, this could be a pretty big move on some of these China names, right? Because we've historically really gapped up hard when we break this resistance, right? Last time we went to 1328. So really, I think that the next level above here is probably into this 1265 into that 13 level, right? But in terms of the hourly, like personally what I'm going to be watching, because NEO was probably one of the strongest names today, I would like to see another pullback into this 1169 area, creates more support there on the hourly, and then push to the upside. I don't know if we're going to get a true retest of the daily breakout, which was at 1133, right? So hopefully that's kind of helpful. I know that like a ton of traders will make this like way more complicated than it needs to be, but like if you truly want, like, how do I come in preparing for the day? Again, it's really simple, guys. I try to keep my charts as clean as possible. And when I was learning, I really took the time to let me write out, okay, this is my daily breakout spot here. This is my hourly support now. And this is my hourly resistance, right? So I think that if you are a newer trader, or if you're really just getting into like performing nightly scans, I think that the power of like annotating your charts and really kind of working through and drawing out some of those key levels is really, really important, right? So make sure you guys are like annotating, because that's only going to help you. And it's also going to help your brain, really identify these things in the future, in my opinion. Why is that the daily breakout spot on NEO? Because that was our daily high prior, right? Was 1133, right? On this candle, 1132, excuse me, was our previous daily high on NEO, and we broke above that and closed today, right? So, all right, so let me kind of continue here, guys. I'm gonna super basic questions, guys. You should probably just go through like some of the videos too, but I'm gonna try to like really lay things out the best I can, right? So As far as watch list for tomorrow, DraftKings really looks special. Yeah, so this is actually a name that I was going to cover. Faith mentioned it in the chat, so I'll just kind of cover it now. DKNG looks really good, guys. They have earnings coming up. This is one of my absolute favorite setups right now on the entire market. Why? Okay, so personally, guys, I like trading options on stocks that have consolidated in a very tight range for a long amount of time, and then we get a range break, right? Because what this chop does is it kills premiums, okay? And so this is when premiums favor the buyer rather than the seller, right? Because you have to think people sell options, right? So there's always people that are selling calls or selling puts, right? This is when call sellers can kind of really get punished, is when you have these like really extended consolidation moves like this. And on DraftKings, this is one of my favorite type of setups, right? We've got 3, 6, 9 straight days inside of $1 range, right? This is getting extremely tight. One thing I will say is that this may not break until we get earnings, or, right, what I would be on watch for would be some type of fake breakdown. Because a lot of the times when you get this much of consolidation like this, you'll get a fake out move first, right? So like maybe tomorrow DKNG will break to the downside, and then that'll fake out longs, and then it'll go right and make its breakout move. So personally, I'm just gonna keep this on watch for an A plus setup. For me, that would be some type of daily liquidity trap at that 30 level. If you don't know what that is, you should go back and review some of the previous live streams I've done. But some type of daily liquidity trap at that level would be ideal. And then obviously breakout upside, right? I think the stock is probably going higher, right? So I talked about that all the time, but when you have a daily candle like this or weekly candle like this, oftentimes sideways consolidation is more bullish than bearish, right? Sideways action after big preceding moves up is oftentimes more bullish than bearish. Sauce Boy, what's going on, man? Another good young follow on Twitter. If you guys are not hip yet, that kid puts out some really good stuff. So make sure you guys throw him a little follow. He's putting out good content, and I respect. That's the young gang, the the young kids, man. That's the new wave of Intuit right there. But yeah. No, yeah, for sure. So, these kids know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure Ohian, or if I'm hopefully saying your username right, he put out a whole thread on liquidity drops, guys, which is like the basis of my entire system. So if you guys want to go check that out, it's pretty good thread. I'm pretty sure he has it pinned, maybe. So I haven't looked at Cloudflare. Yo, America, my man, I can see your trades on Twitter, but on Discord, but my Twitter is still pending. DM at LD Trades, and he will get you hooked up, man. He will get your Twitter request approved. Over 200 people in the stream right now, guys. If you haven't taken the 2 seconds to go and like the stream, what are you doing? No, I'm just kidding. I appreciate everyone that has hit that like button so far. Yeah, America, just go DM LD Trades, say that you haven't got your Twitter accepted yet, and make sure you followed instructions on the welcome video to the Discord, guys. So, and then you'll be good to go. But I appreciate everybody that's hit that like button, guys. We're trying to hit 15K on YouTube here, which we are getting dangerously close to. Dangerously close. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure you do so. It means the world to me. What's my handicap, dude? I actually did just have the best round of my life. I had to leave a little bit early, but Dane Trades, who was in the chat earlier, can confirm. I think if I parred the last 2 holes, which I had to leave early from, I would have shot a 92, but I was 2 or 3 over on the back, which was really, really good for me. So, but I'm going to go play tomorrow. I promised myself by the time Microsoft drops their earnings, I'd get on a golf course tomorrow. So, yeah, no, I was playing solid. I had my first birdie, guys. I had my first birdie ever, par 3. So if you guys are, you're out there stroking it, appreciate it. Love the stream and tweets. Is shop still a viable play? So honestly, I thought shop acted horrible last week, guys. It doesn't look like it's just like it's kind of gross price action to me, right? I wanted the price action to be cleaner here. They also have, I believe, earnings coming up. Yeah, it's just kind of gross. Like this was just bad price action, right? So if you guys watched the stream last week, right, we got the daily liquidity trap here, right, and the setup did validate, right? We got to move up to that 69 like 20 level. It was just a really weak move for that level, right? Like you can see right here on this daily candle on the 18th. This is them taking liquidity, right? That's the wick down. When you see a wick like that, you got to think about it. It's like they're just like swiping your stops and then pushing the candle up, right? Which lures in short. It's a whole like complex, right? System, right? Where you're getting shorts that come in because they think the stock's breaking down. They don't wait for the daily candle to close. Daily candle ends up closing back over the key level, and that insinuates, right, the move up and ignites it and gives it power, right? But when you see a candle like that print, it's just like a pretty weak validation. And that's why it failed the following day, right? And so I got twisted up in this. I'm going to just let it be until this was a great move, but it's acted like since, right? I don't want to trade this. This is gross, right? I'd much rather trade like way cleaner moves. So for me, I'm just not going to be watching it until it improves in terms of price action. So a 1 to a 4. Yeah, golf's so addicting, man. So addicting. Went from a 14 to an 8 this year. Damn, dude. 8 handicap is really trading opportunities. Anyone else think this dude looks incredibly stupid with those glasses on, let alone wearing them indoors? This kid's we got a newbie in the stream, man. Just no clue. It's okay, man. It's okay. You don't have to watch. Oh boy. L's in the chat. L's in the chat. All right, so yeah, I think Baba looks good. I think that PDD and a lot of these names look really good, guys. Personally, Neo is one of my favorites to trade. I think the glasses are a dub, guys. I'm sorry if you don't like them, it's okay. But again, Neo is one of my favorites to trade on that front. I did trade PDD today, and this one does look good on the weekly. Here, guys, like to me, I think PDD looks like one of the more lethal setups on a higher time frame, right? So if we look at the weekly and the monthly here, guys, I think that this name probably wants to test that 83 resistance. And look at the last time PDD made this move, right? This is the weekly that we're looking at. PDD gapped all the way to 88. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a repeat of that. I appreciate all the reactions, guys. Thank you. The glasses will be staying, I promise. The glasses will be staying. I think they add an element to the stream. So, like I said, if you don't like it, if you think it looks stupid, then you're missing the whole point if you think it's serious. So, I think that this probably looks like one of my favorite names within China because, again, I am a big proponent of like prior behavior on stocks. And so if you look at prior behavior like we have here on Baba, on PDD, then if we look at this weekly candle gap up, which was from the 2nd of December in 2022, we gapped from 76 all the way into that 88 zone, right? So if you draw out high and low from this candle, which would be very similar to where we are right now, right? So that 75 up to that 88 zone. I think 83 is your most like more near-term resistance. We get through 83.5. I think this can really push, right? On Microsoft. So earnings this week, guys. This is an ugly daily candle, right? Weekly candle. Really ugly weekly candle. But just to reinforce what I was saying earlier, guys, PDD is probably my favorite risk to reward setup within China. I feel like I didn't make myself clear there. I think like the 85 calls for next week looks interesting. This daily candle also isn't like insane enough where I still feel like this has more in the tank, right? But it's going to need to clear this 81.6 and then that 83.5 area, right? So personally, if we start to really hold, again, this comes back to hourly levels, but if we hold on to that 78.50 level, right? Personally, I would be looking for long opportunities this week, right? On a name like this. We hold 78.55, that's your hourly support, right? And what did we talk about earlier, guys? Annotate those charts, right? Hourly support here is now, right? This is your hourly momentum support on PDD, in my opinion, right? It is right here. 78.55. All these charts look the same. NEO it's 11.69. PDD, in this case, 78.55, right? This is probably like one of my favorite charts within China from a risk to reward standpoint. If you get a 10 bagger like Mans, the shades just appear in your mailbox. That's a good one right there, guys. Over 250 people on the stream, guys. Really thank everybody who's tuning in. The curls are flowing, the glasses are on, guys. We're talking setups for the week ahead, as always, and we're just vibing, as always. Appreciate all the homies in the chat, guys. Really appreciate you guys tuning in per usual. Over 500 viewers on the stream in total. Thank you so much, guys. If you haven't thrown a like on the stream yet or haven't tossed a little subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Quick announcement. We are doing the giveaway. I wanted to do this 3/4 of the way through. All you have to do, I'm going to pick one person that favorites the stream tweet. So the tweet that I did where it's like stream is live and then the link to the stream. All you have to do is favorite that. If you go and favorite that, I'm going to pick one person who favorites that tweet to win the month of August for free inside of the A Plus Options Discord. So all you have to do is go and favorite the tweet that had the link to the stream. It's on my Twitter. If you favorite that, I will pick one person who favorites that tweet. This is to make up for me not attending the stream last night. I really do apologize about that, guys. But if you'd like to win a free month of August in the Discord, all you've got to do is favorite the tweet that I put out that says stream is live. And it has a link to the stream. So all you have to do is favorite that. That just got like 50 favorites automatically. So all you have to do is favorite that. I will pick one person tomorrow that favorites that tweet to win a free month in the Discord on the main account. Yeah, so a couple other setups so obviously, guys, I quickly want to mention a lot of the names that I'm talking about. My game plan for tomorrow is to pretty much be sitting on my hands. I had a fantastic day today, like that I'm really happy about. I was feeling super sick. I woke up, took dated calls on solar, took PDD calls, and, you know, I bought some GME lottos afterwards. And, you know, I locked in $1,300 and I called it a day, right? That's a great day for a catalyst heavy week, right? We've got FOMC, we've got Microsoft earnings, and we've got Google earnings, right? So Microsoft and Google earnings are those two big catalysts, and those are tomorrow after the close. So what does that mean? We do not want to be forcing things when we have major earnings related catalysts like this, right? At least that's my game plan, is to not be forcing things into two major catalyst events like this after hours tomorrow, right? I personally have no real firm opinion on this Microsoft chart. I do think the weekly looks a little suspect. Obviously, right, we had the liquidity trap at all-time highs, closed below, and we had really high sell volume on the weekly, right? The monthly, however, still looks pretty good. Personally, though, I do not want to be long nor short into these reports. I have no interest, right? Same thing goes for Google, right? Google is kind of pumped into the report a little bit too. So again, for me, guys, a lot of the setups I'm talking about, I'm going to get more aggressive Thursday, Friday, and into next week, right? I really think that tomorrow, I would be surprised if I may take one trade, right? There's one setup that I have my eyes on. Other than that, I'm going to be really, really hands off tomorrow, guys, because tomorrow is a day on the Qs, right? The Qs were just trappy all day, right? And so I think that I would not be surprised if we get another day of just really kind of trappy action, right? Like, look at this. This is the type of action, guys, and trust me, I was trading QQQ relentlessly every day for like 3 months this year. This is the days that I want to be avoiding, right? So this trapped shorts off the open, and then they gapped it back up, and then we just firmed this range, right? 377 to 375.16. This is also last week's low, right? So you have to keep that in mind, guys. We've got our low from last week on the Qs right here at that 375.20 area. So that's a level for me that I want to be paying attention to on the Qs, right? But again, that's kind of why I thought this was a false breakdown, which it ended up being, because we kind of like shoved right into that level on a Monday open. I've just been like more hands off on the indices a little bit more as of late, but personally. You bouncing off the 13. Yeah, so Unity is an interesting setup, but just wanted to clarify, I'll touch QQQ, I'll touch tech after we get through earnings on Microsoft and Google, right? So I really want to be waiting. The only tech setup, and this is the one setup I do kind of have my eyes on for tomorrow, guys, is the Tesla 4-hour, okay? This was a really impressive move, right? Outside of China, I thought this was the most impressive move we saw today, okay? This was really, really good if you are long Tesla, in my opinion. We really formed some serious support at that 254 level, right? And they were sweeping the 300 calls for next week, which is, pretty big move, right? Breakdown on my Weeble settings. They're pretty simple, man. They're pretty simple. But you can actually, there's a full video on my YouTube if you want to look at how I set up my Weeble. There's a full video of like how I set up my Weeble, as redundant as that is. It probably needs to be updated, but I don't know. I keep it really clean, guys. No indicators really. Sometimes I'll use like the 20-day EMA, 20 EMA, like sometimes when I'm looking at daily setups, but for the 21. So again, on Tesla, the reason that I like this, I honestly was thinking that Tesla was going to stay in a range between 269 and 255 in the near term, but this was a really big soak on Tesla today. And if this 269 level can turn into support, I think this looks like a fantastic long setup, guys, because look how smoothly we moved through this post earnings. If we can hold that 269 level on Tesla, guys, the August 4th calls are of interest to me here. What I would want to see is this 268.90 to 269 level get retested. If we see this level get retested, guys, I think that this wants 275 pretty quickly, and then maybe even up into these wicks at 284. So I'm not. So I mentioned on the scan last night that I put out for subscribers that I wanted to be fading Tesla off 270, but look at how strong this 4-hour candle was, right? So I don't want to be fading strength like that, right? Because look at this. This is an engulfing candle on the 4-hour. And when you see something like that, right, that's a pretty good identification of like broader term trend, right? And I'm using the 4-hour. And so if you're new, damn, I got bit by a huge mosquito. Good Lord. Dude, I can't handle the mosquitoes down here. It is insane. These things are like just on crack. It is wild. Anybody from the South know what I'm talking about? Like just like the bugs in general, man. It's like they're on steroids. Like Barry Bonds. Has the stream ever seen Hoodie Mans like this, you mean? Yeah, oh no, Hoodie Mans has been a thing. Right here. Bang. Looks like I'm about to walk into MSG, sit on the bench, get ready to drop 35. But, in all honesty, I think that the one tech setup that I do like possibly for tomorrow is on Tesla just because of how strong it was today, right? Really, really impressive. If you look at the hourly, guys, you make sure you guys, if you don't have extended hours on too, that might be why. This is the hourly. Damn, bro, 99 cents. Thanks, man. It's been solid. Like, again, I think that, you look at the hourly, and this is just such a key level, right? At that 268.90 level. Really, really important spot, guys. I think as long as we hold that on the hourly, I'm going to be looking at longs on Tesla, guys, right? Because you can see, if you go back to close last week, we really had a lot of trouble at that 268.90 spot. So if we continue to turn this into support at 268.9, I think this starts to look really encouraging for a move back up to 275. And again, we saw some huge sweeps on the August 4th 300 calls, if I'm not mistaken. Just some really, really big orders for that short-term expiration contracts. Do I use Weeble Desktop? Yeah. So personally, I like that one. Yeah, so the other setup somebody mentioned in the chat as well is Unity. We're looking at a lot of the same stocks, aren't we? Unity on the daily. This is interesting. I know a lot of people kind of been talking about this one. I have too. I kind of wish it was behaving a little bit better, I will say, guys. But, if we look at this daily trend line on Unity, which is getting a little bit messy now, right? We're at a very kind of interesting spot, right? If you want to come down to the wicks, the issue with this stock, guys, and I'm going to clear all the levels here for a second, is this has flushed out longs every single time first, right? Look at this, right? What was it? 5 days in a row red, 7 days in a row red. I wouldn't be surprised if this wants to make another push right into that trend line. So personally, where am I looking to get long on this? Really, if 43 holds, I think it presents a really interesting setup. Today was encouraging because we built that low, but then the close was just not like super healthy, right? But again, as long as we hold today's low, I'd be looking at this for longs. But again, I think this is one, it's got earnings coming up soon. You guys have to remember a lot of these growth companies have earnings next week, right? The first week of August. Dude, North Carolina, the mosquitoes are like just like I swear they're like juiced. Like they're just like Barry Bonds, like what was that, like 2007 season, just insane. They're all on roids. Mans, do I like Rivian Long? I gotta move to Colorado. Do I like Rivian Long? Rivian is also interesting, right? Because it faked that breakout at the key level at 27 on Friday, which I did not like. And so I think this might need a little bit more time. However, EVs are hot, right? And so if this can build back up, the more a level gets tested, guys, the more likely we are to see it break, right? So if we get our third or fourth test of 27 here, I do think that, I'm going to keep it on watch because you're going to know the day, right? It's just likely going to be trademarked by that higher volume. You'll know when Rivian has the bid it needs to take out this level, right? Which has just been a huge, huge area of resistance. Been here since day one. Stock Market Cody, thank you, sir. Yeah, Neo is goated. Thanks for the stream. Just got here, but appreciate your time. Yeah, Javier, no problem, man. The curls are flowing. The glasses are on. If you're up late, you're getting some stock knowledge. Make sure that you guys remember that you can go back and watch the entire stream. So if you miss the beginning, I've already covered like a lot of names. You can go back and watch and kind of work through them, right? So the biggest concept as far as like education-wise that we've covered tonight, guys, is really annotating charts when you're doing preparation. So for example, I'll show you a trade I took today, SPWR. I took this one. This is a solar name. I took monthly contracts at the money here today on SPWR. And so the reason my conviction behind this trade, guys, was all from going through this weekend and annotating, right? And it had a really beautiful, right, 4-hour setup that was just, a slam the table type of long for me. This is our 4-hour. And again, I love using the 4-hour, guys, right? Because when in doubt, zoom out. We had this beautiful 4-hour uptrend that has formed, right? And that's messy AF, but I'm going to adjust. Okay, that's much better. All right, so we had this really nice 4-hour uptrend, guys. This is the candle, the open 4-hour candle today. And I took calls off of this test, right, this morning at that 1124 level, and I sold up here at 1175 and 1180. So this was a beautiful setup. I took monthly contracts here and got a 27% move, but I took size on this trade. So, I think it ended up netting me like plus 800. So that was a really nice move. And, I just think that, you have to find like what works within your system. I personally love playing these 4-hour trend lines, especially when we get a liquidity sweep, right? At a 4-hour trend line like that, guys, that is my bread and absolute butter, right? So AMC fan or avoid with the pullback. I don't know how like AMC is gonna end up going. I think that memes are set up like the AMC daily candle looks really good to me. I said that earlier. That after hours action was gross, but I mean, look at that daily candle, guys. This is how moves kind of start. 300 million in volume, right? And volume is so important to look at. This looks like a can that sees continuation to me, right? But it's so hard to tell with these overall these types of names because they can get offerings, right? So much can happen in terms of like these meme stocks. So This candle looks good in terms of continuation. Do I not trade SPY? I do trade SPY and QQQ, guys. I have not traded them as much the last 2 months because I've been trading a lot of the ARKK names on a more regular basis because they've been fitting my system more, especially like in terms of their 4-hour trends. In terms of the S&P, again, this is just like a do not touch for me until we get some more direction from Microsoft and Google, right? Because Microsoft and Google, they weight so heavily inside the S&P 500 and the Qs that I just am going to be more hands off on the indices because we get choppy days like this, right? I traded, like for example, today on the S&P, right? We broke out over that 450, 470 area. And then it was just a complete fake out, right, on the upside break. And that's what you see a lot of, guys, when like the indices before really big catalyst driven events like Microsoft and Google earnings is you see these like fake out moves more often because there's just purely not enough volume to sustain the move, right? So the tape can be really, really tricky. So I just try to avoid SPY and QQQ right before major like earnings, right? Like Microsoft, Apple, Google, some of these big names. I try to like stay away from the Qs and the S&P a little bit more. Roblox is on my do not trade list, but I did see that it was holding that kind of trend a little bit. I just don't trade this name, guys. I don't think it trades well at all. So, have you covered how to find a stock or a few stocks to focus on when learning? Previous stream, you mentioned that you should focus on 2 to 3 stocks until we're comfortable trading. I think that's a great system to implement. Personally, like when I talk to my friends and that like don't trade and they're like, I want to get into trading options, like how should I get started? They talk and they'll say like, well, like how do I start? Well, I'm always like, you should focus on a couple of names, right, that trade well. And so honestly, like right now, guys, this changes because sometimes stocks trade really well, sometimes they don't. Personally, some names that I think trade really well that have like attractive premiums. Tesla is a pretty good one right now because the premiums are like attractive in terms of like where they are trading. Coin is another fantastic one in my opinion, right? Because like contract wise, it's not going to be like insanely expensive. You can play like pretty close to at the money. I think another really good one, the stock that I really like got into a groove with in terms of trading options was on NVDA, right? NVIDIA was my really bread and butter when I was like really got dialed in terms of like short-term expirations and trading like with more size was on NVIDIA, right? I learned how to trade the stock like the back of my hand. And primarily, guys, honestly, it was like when NVIDIA had its kind of major tumble, right? If you go back to like 2021, right? I really started trading NVIDIA every day late 2021. And then I really caught a lot of these downside moves, right? Throughout the next like 12 months. So, and you know, right now, guys, honestly, this works well because NVIDIA looks fantastic to me, in my opinion. I would like to see it be a little bit stronger here, but the AI names look pretty good to me. This daily trend line on NVIDIA has been really solid. And so I am interested in NVIDIA longs the rest of the week. This is my top focus setup after Microsoft, after Google. This is my favorite long setup on the entire market, right? Every time people get overly bearish on NVIDIA, it just seems to like take people's heads off on the short side. So personally, I really, really like how NVIDIA is set up here on the daily. This trend line has worked fantastic. Maybe this is the time it breaks down. We are seeing some sell volume, but until that happens, I'm going to be looking at longs here on NVIDIA. What is my favorite time frame? Okay, so for preparing for the day ahead, it's the hourly, and for intraday, it's the 15-minute. Personally, right? Because some like I will trade on the 5-minute, right? Especially off the open, but primarily I really love the 15-minute. That's where my system is kind of based around, is the 15-minute. So trading 15-minute closes is a big one for me. And then, prepping, right, and identifying setups will be the 4-hour and the hourly, right? So for SunPower, for example, like over the weekend, I identified that 4-hour setup. I took my entry off a 15-minute candle, right? So, like I said, it just two different time frames for, preparing for the trade and then executing it, right? NVIDIA does? Yeah, we'll see. I mean, this could be a huge breakdown on NVIDIA if it does go, but until that happens, I'm going to view this as a long, right? Because we're right at that daily trend, which we have, bounced off of multiple times, right? We've got like total 5, 6, 7 touches here. What is my favorite time frame? When picking options, what matters most to you? Honestly, man, like the Greeks are important, but I am primarily like intraday trading options. So unless you're like swinging them, then you got to pay more attention to like theta decay and things of that nature. But intraday, like I like to just be basically, within 5% of being in the money, and I really want to be playing like strikes that are close to my targets, right? So like for example, here on NVIDIA, this week I'd be looking at the 455 calls because that would be my target area on this stock, would be the 454 area. And so like that's the strike I'd personally be looking at, would be like the 450s or the 455s. You ever scalp SPX 0DT on the Robinhood line chart? Nah, man, that sounds like extremely degenerate though, and I respect it. I had like a very brief SPX phase, and I was like, I don't know, man. I think I'm good on this. Thanks, man. Keep crushing it. Appreciate you, man. Would you chase a trade if a breakout of hourly resistance, or you wait for a retest, for example, on Neo? So for example, on Neo tomorrow, if it closed over that key level on the hourly, I would probably buy calls, right? Maybe more dated calls, and maybe look at next week's. As far as like determining hourly levels, this is a pretty like simple one, right? So like you can clearly see that once Neo broke out today, it formed support at 1169, right? First pullback, we created support here. That's why I annotated it and said, okay, this is now my hourly support. So tomorrow on Neo, if we fail to break out, I'm going to be targeting 1169. I would look for probably longs off that level, right? Bro sniped that PDD today. Stock Talk Insiders, appreciate it, man. Yeah, PDD was sick today. That was a really, really good time. I took PDD off the 5 and the 15. Right, we got that 15-minute close over that prior high. Beautiful, beautiful setup. That was really clean, guys. Like I said, that was such a clean trade. Really presented itself. So I took that on the 15-minute close. How much do I take into account of after hours? I definitely take into account after hours levels for sure. So appreciate it, guys. Over 700 people have watched the stream. We're at 100 likes right now, and we've been going for almost an hour. Really appreciate it, guys. Really, really appreciate it. Do you see any big setup on the guy Carvana? No, Carvana looks to me. I personally am not like super pressed on finding a trade on Carvana. I think it's had a huge move. Bro sniped that PDD today. Brocco, what's going on, man? Thanks for hopping in as always. 730, that 7636 level. Obviously the big one on PDD. So going into tomorrow, for example, guys, as far as the hourly goes, I'm going to be looking for dips into that 78.55 level on PDD. If we see that 78.55 level, right, continue to get soaked, I'm going to want to see buyers absorbing, right, that level. I want to see 78.55 really start to soak. Given the level of the move we had today, I wouldn't be surprised to see some type of sideways action tomorrow. But if that level continues to get bought up, I do think that this can retest into those highs. And like I said, as far as China goes, this is probably one of my favorites, given like the level of consolidation on the weekly. And again, I think we could really fill back up to this 85 to 88 zone in the near future. Time flies when we're having fun. Absolutely. I appreciate everybody tuning in, guys. It is almost 10:30 though. I have been a little bit under the weather, so I'm going to try to get some sleep tonight. It's a little bit of a different week. Like I said, we've got some huge catalysts coming up with Microsoft, Google, and FOMC. So my best advice, guys, is you got to know when to play defense and you got to know when to play offense. This is going to be a pretty defensive-minded week for me. So forgive me if I'm not going into like really specifics on like super A-plus setups, because I just think it's a week where you have to let the market come to you. I've given you kind of where my eyes are going to be at, PDD, Tesla, and a few of these other names. But again, I think it's all about not forcing things tomorrow, guys. I'm going to be at the desk for the first hour, and then I'm going to let the market, I'll let other people deal with the chop into earnings, right? I don't want to force things in that type of market, especially after a great day today. So, yeah, NEO looks good for sure. What is the difference between these YT analysis and your Discord? My Discord is just daily, right? So you get the stream like this every morning. Guys, guilty as charged. I actually missed a stream this morning. Felt like absolutely horrible waking up. So my one stream of the year missed. But you get these every single morning, and then I trade live until 11 o'clock every morning. So appreciate the free game ads, of course. Yeah, Neo looks solid. What's going on, guys? Steaming the account with the thread and the liquidity traps. Ohioan. I think you can find him if you search my name or Sauceboy or any of those guys. You'll see it. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. 120 likes on the stream. Over 700 people tuned in. Thank you guys so much. I will be picking the winner for the free month in the Discord for August tomorrow. Make sure you like the tweet on my main Twitter with the link to the stream if you want to be entered to win that. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. We'll see you guys on the next stream. Peace out.